Welcome to Finding Monster Right, the show about finding monsters, right?
Right. We're pulling out the bags of dice. We're casting lots, and I've rolled the letters A D A M. I'm Adam.
I rolled 3d6 and dropped the lowest, and the result was that I am Allie. Yes, I know it's 4d6 dropped the lowest, but I don't have a lot of stats, gang.
Oh, that's a sad note to start on.
I live in a reverse Dark Sun world is the thing. Anyway, we're doing a D&D episode, and we have a special guest.
A dynamite guest.
One time I saw him eat a whole tree.
Yeah, that never again with the Taco Bell, man. Hey guys, I rolled 10d10 and all the dice fell off the table, so they don't count, and a cat ate one of the dice, so I'm Crazy Boris.
Yes, Crazy Boris is the mastermind behind some of my favorite animations through the ages. And it's a personal goal of mine to be involved with him on a project. So thank you for joining us to talk shop with D&D.
Very much so.
I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Now, my first introduction to you was like way back with Cactuar and Tonberry, which was...
Oh, are they?
Oh, he did the thing!
No, I'm pretty positive Cactuar was just next to him. I refuse.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? You say that jokingly, but there is a Cactuar plush in the corner of my room watching me right now.
That is
from Japan.
Boris, you don't... I don't know if you've experienced this yet, but Adam does not miss. He's always right somehow.
The hits keep coming.
He's just got access to my home security cameras.
You don't turn around that plushie, please.
I gotta change the passwords, man.
So how far back does your D&D know-how go? I'm sure it's older than ours.
Okay, the beginnings of my D&D know-how is one time I sort of have played with some friends in high school, and I was like, yeah, I get how this works. And then I thought I knew how to play for like 10 years, and I'd introduce people to it, and they'd be like, this sucks, D&D sucks. And I'd be like, no. And then I just had the books, but I was bad at like reading and taking in knowledge. So I didn't know like you were supposed to add your strength to melee attacks, or this is like really things that made the entire thing extremely asinine. It was just a bunch of rolling for like to see if you hit something, and then maybe 1 in 10 rolls you will hit something. And my friends were all like, "No, this sucks." And then finally, finally someone other than myself DM'd. I am stuck in this sort of forever DM for the most part. But someone other than me DM'd, and everything clicked. I learned by doing. Having the books was not enough. But yeah, so it's been a good...
Wow, we've already had a complete lesson on this episode.
Yeah, it's been a good like 20-ish years of D&D, but half of that me thinking knowing what D&D is and how to play.
Making an entire animated series about a cool D&D party is the most forever DM thing I have ever heard, so that checks out.
If I can't have players, I'll make them myself.
Yeah, no, that's you've hit the nail on the head. This week we're going to be talking about a very, very specific D&D monster in this episode called Shades of Grey Render, bonding with your D&D monstrosity.
Yeah. The Grey Render is a species of D&D monster that goes all the way back to the very beginnings of D&D 3rd edition.
and let's I think it's worth describing because the name doesn't do it justice. So
no, it rends. It's gray. What more do you need?
The Grey Render stands at a whopping 9 foot tall, coming in at 2,000 pounds.
Whoa.
How do you guys describe this buddy?
Adam, you sound like you were introducing him in the next YouTube creator clash.
Yeah, I'm ready for him to feed up a bunch of homeless people with that.
All right, so we're talking about essentially a bipedal mangy bear with like a kind of hippo-y sort of skull that's wrapped in some like gooey musculature with 6 eyes. And it's a big gray kind of pachyderm skinned sort of rip and tear spookum.
Yeah, you take the skin of a rhino, the mouth of a hippo, and just pepper those eyes on. Don't stop.
Who could it be? This animal that I did see.
Will you help me guess
This
this
mystery.
mystery? Zaboombafoo, roll for initiative.
Fuck yeah.
I'm glad that someone's here to sing along with you, Allie.
Oh my gosh. A whole new
This is the
world.
musical episode.
Oh, this is so-
You guys had the rhyming episode. This is the musical episode.
every episode of the musical episode, really.
The most musical monster of all, the Grey Render.
Well, that is something to be said about its abilities. The Grey Render is this alien creature that kind of hulks around, looking for an intelligent, a sapient creature to bond with. And this bonding ritual includes a lot of weird warbling cries.
This sounds like me so far.
You're just eternally seeking that partner to bond with.
That and the warbling cries really sell it.
This really is just like the Tinder and Hinge like online dating experience. Looking for someone to bond with, warbling, crying.
Why can I only find people that are holding fish?
Stop with the gym selfies.
Ugh, God.
Yeah, so the neat thing about the Grey Render is that it's not just a foe; it can be a friend.
Oh,
yeah.
It's your typically chaotic neutral. But unfortunately, unlike maybe a golden retriever may, it kind of has a mind of its own. It kind of will go off and do its own quirky activities.
Yeah,
it's not clingy. You know, that's a good sign.
Yeah, you don't want a Grey Render to something this large to be your shadow like continuously. You want to take a break every now and then.
Where were you Thursday night, Grey Render? I was at my parents'. I was. Yeah, I'm sure.
I feel like a dog is almost more clingy than that. It's like,
Yeah.
I missed you forever. It's like, I was gone for 2 hours, like, but I missed you forever, though.
I thought you were gone forever.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Grey Renders. If you leave them alone, they don't necessarily they're not good. They might just wander off. They might seek you out anyway.
Yeah. Now, do you think it would help if we talked about maybe the origin of the Grey Render?
Oh yes, from lore, deep lore.
The deep lore would appear to suggest that they are somehow the creation, or they owe their existence within the forgotten realms of D&D to the Nyogi, which are this
a delicious Italian dessert.
A delicious Italian dessert. They are these like snaky spider people who inspired the Dark Alley test for D&D monsters, which Crazy Boris, and for those who are also unfamiliar, the Dark Alley test is a test that I came up with, where if you saw this monster in a dark alley, would your reaction be like, oh no? Or would it be like, who fucking cares? Which, I looked at these snake spiders in the monster manual and I was like, I don't fucking give a single shit. Because, like, also it's like, the Nyogi were a race of spider-like creatures. They were ruthless, xenophobic slavers and plunderers, hated in all known crystal spheres. The enemy of my enemy is my enemy, Nyogi proverb. Sometimes I hate D&D for that exact reason. I'm like, oh, what do you need to know about this monster? They are evil, xenophobic slavers, and that's like 90% of the book.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I just looked up a picture. These are definitely like 2 phobias in one, and that's what it's perfect.
I must have misspelled them because I'm just looking at pieces of meat now.
No,
Prime grade Nyogi.
That's Wagyu, Adam. That's Adam's predisposition towards carnivory is sometimes very difficult to work with.
Adam hasn't had dinner yet.
No,
it's affecting the podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna ask that you be a little professional, okay?
The Grey Render ate my lunch.
We're gonna DoorDash you some Taco Bell.
My Grey Render ate my homework.
Crazy Boris, I must point out that I know that Taco Bell is a like a golden standard for you. Is it not?
I love taco. Well, no, we're having a bit of a spat. They got rid of the quesarito unless you use the app, and I will never use an app for anything. So
Hats off to you. Good way to stick to your guns.
I refuse to use an app. One time, I went to a haircut place, and they're like, "Oh, you can pay us through the app." I'm like, "I'm not using an app," so I came back with a flip phone just to be like, "Sorry, I'm gonna have to use cash." And they actually like took the cash and gave me a haircut. I beat the system.
Nice. There used to be a Taco Bell inside my university's library.
I thought you were about to say there used to be a Taco Bell inside of your game universe, like a D&D universe.
There was that one time where I did just like vampires in modern day Philadelphia. So like there was probably a Taco Bell in that game technically.
Canonically, yeah.
Yeah.
Adam, do you remember It's Never Sunny in Philadelphia?
I do recall the vampire game.
It's never sunny. I like that.
Thanks. That was the best part of the game, was the title. I did not do a very good job. I could do a better round two. But anyway, so the gray renders are maybe aliens, maybe like some kind of stray pets of the Nyogi that were dropped off here, almost like the conspiracy theory about the chupacabra that we talked about several episodes back.
Yeah, as I understand it, they needed these creatures to kind of do some of their grunt work.
Yeah, and they also these creatures have a very alien reproductive cycle.
Oh, there's eggs that lay separate things that impregnate them.
No. That's the other aliens. The gray renders reproduce by budding.
They both put their butts together and a baby comes out.
Just like humans.
Just like humans, yeah.
Yeah, that's how humans do it, right? Am I doing it wrong?
2 worlds, 1 family.
Trust your
heart.
partner.
Oh.
Okay. So,
okay.
sorry,
Gross.
I take that back. Can we?
This is not an explicit show.
Oh,
Well, okay, we very much are. Watch.
we're going to get into that in a moment in our gray rendered quirks, but go on, Allie.
Yes, they reproduce by budding. So they form these big nodules on their bodies, and then they break off and turn into young gray renders, which, for such a derived organism, just like from an Evo Devo sense, I don't know how much sense that makes, truly.
That just grows off them, falls off.
Yeah. All right, I guess. This is a very plastic,
Yeah, it's a...
slaps roof of gray render. This bad boy can fit so many Hawks genes in it.
just reproduces via shedding.
I looking at the gray render, I could actually really see the baby gray renders being like the next baby Groot or baby Yoda.
Ooh.
Baby render.
I'm pro.
It's got marketing potential. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna Google baby gray render and see if anybody's beaten us to the punch on that.
Oh my god! Yeah. Wait. Okay. We have baby gray render. No.
Oh, I see.
There's kangaroos for some reason.
I'm seeing some what looks like some fan art of Critical Role, because gray renders did show up in an episode of Critical Role a couple years back, which is how before Mordenkainen's was published. So the supplement that they show up in for 5th edition. So that was the first time I encountered them. Was a failed attempt by the character Vexalia to befriend one, but yeah, there's a baby gray render. It's not very cute.
Speaking of befriending one, I would like to pitch the two of your premise.
Mm-hmm.
You have encountered this creature, this gray render. It is now showing deference to you. It's making a weird warbly cry. It's scratching at the earth, and it clearly wants you to bond with it. How would you go about doing so? In none of the literature I've read do they actually say what you're supposed to do in reply to this.
Okay.
Ooh.
As an animal expert, I believe the proper procedure is to go in front of it, hold your hand out to it, and say, "Eyes on me."
That's true. The Chris Pratt method.
Yeah. That works on every animal, it turns out.
Yes, just make that eye contact. Don't let it go. It'll probably scratch you. It might attack you. but keep that hand up. Switch to the other hand if you lose the first one.
There's the Minecraft thing where I guess you just feed it like 3 times.
The little hearts pop out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. There's Pokemon where you got to beat it up a bit and then you catch it in a Pokeball.
The way I see it,
Go.
Making friends as an adult is hard. I would invite it to get a beer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Get some potato skins, and then we could watch like Cobra Kai or something, like episode 1 of something.
Oh, okay. So you're starting at the top of the series.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good starter episode. I've never even seen Karate Kid, but I enjoyed it.
Now the thing about dogs is, like they need an LCD screen to see because they cannot see the CRT TV. Like the illusion of movement doesn't work for them. So,
I mean, sure, we'll just make sure it's an LCD that we're watching Cobra Kai on.
But like, what if?
I didn't know that.
But, yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, that's a real animal fact. I'm full of them. But like, yeah, dogs can't see like old school like big bulgy TVs because like it's just ions hitting a screen basically, and like the frame rate is such that the dogs don't realize that it's supposed to be like a picture of a guy walking.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. But actually,
so like dogs just got TV is what I'm saying.
Do you think the Grey Render's vision's going to have any trouble with him enjoying Cobra Kai?
It's got 6 eyes. I see no reason for an animal to have more than 2 eyes, unless it's like for seeing different spectra.
That's true. Like, why do spiders and bugs have more than 2 eyes?
So he's watching more Cobra Kai than we are, is what you're saying.
He's processing it 3 times better than most regular 2-eyed humans.
He can watch 3 episodes at once.
Oh man, he's gonna finish before us. It's gonna be really bad for spoilers.
Oh no.
But okay, I agree with these methods. I think this would chill out a Grey Render.
Maybe we can find out what kind of gestures a Grey Render might like if we learn the kind of quirky things that a Grey Render does.
Good thinking, because like a Beethoven, having a Grey Render around causes all kinds of trouble.
Real Marmaduke, this one.
Yeah, the Monsters of the Multiverse lists out some quirks that a Grey Render may possess. And they're very difficult sometimes. For example, hates horses and other mounts.
That's a problem.
Oh.
If you got to travel around, that sucks.
They're jealous.
And it doesn't specify living or mechanical mounts, so no driving with a Grey Render.
Grey Render, this was a lease! I even had a Who Saved Who bumper sticker on the back that I got because of you.
Aww. Render is my favorite breed.
You can put that bumper sticker directly on the Render if you want.
Oh yeah, there you go. It's more of a tattoo at that point. Grey Render does sound like a dog breed, now that I hear it.
It does. Rend is such a weird verb, I think, is why.
Yeah, I associate it with like 3D like Blender renders.
So the next quirk here, roars loudly when its bonded creature is touched by another creature. So, hope you don't have an intimate partner.
Or stealth. Or yeah, that too, yeah.
So
I thought like if you were trying to stealth and then you stab someone, that sees that as contact.
Well,
that is a good point.
I think it's when its bonded creature is touched by another creature. So if somebody stabs you.
Okay. Or gives you a firm but confident handshake.
Yeah. He might recognize a true alpha business pro in your presence and see that as a threat.
As my brain often does, I went to just like a straight up like Keenan and Kel scene where you're trying to like at a job interview make a good impression, but your Grey Render is causing a scene.
That would make a great sitcom.
Just trying to get various jobs, but the Grey Render's in your way.
Just like doing millennial things, dating, trying to get a job. Every little thing sets your jealous Grey Render off.
It's a great Adult Swim cartoon.
Well, it's funny because you start off with like your the idea of like, oh man, it's a bad dog, but then it's like, oh no, wait, this is my partner now. It's like that one guy that the bird fell in love with him at the zoo.
Oh yeah,
It's really turned into one of those.
It's a loose cannon.
I'm really glad that our cranes at the zoo are happily married.
Yes, they nothing's worse than a crane husband.
Mm.
Fortunately, the third quirk is likes to snuggle.
Oh,
Oh. Now this one and the other two make me think that they're very tactile in their, for lack of a better word, love language. Like they like pets.
Oh, it's all about the touching then.
Yeah, like definitely scratching like the parts of its body that it can't reach. I think it would like that the most.
I think that might be where the render comes from. Like we were talking about dogs, like a golden retriever retrieves balls. Maybe it just the rending is the touching and the grabbing.
it's definitely got the physical touch love language.
Yeah.
Mm.
To rend is to tear something apart, I thought.
With physically though,
Just don't let them discover back scratchers. Then they won't need humans.
That's also true of dogs, though.
Yeah, they don't have those opposable thumbs.
speaking of dogs,
Mhm.
uproots and chews on trees.
Mm.
He's undoing Mr. Beast's work.
Yes, no, he's very anti YouTuber.
No.
Just poses against any saplings that are newly impressed.
Ugh, influencers. Ugh. Hate them. That's the fourth quirk.
Hates it.
We're gonna write that into Wizards of the Coast.
You're
Come to think of it, the environmental thing in the Six Eyes is giving me Avatar vibes.
oh
The blue one, not the good one.
yeah, it has the plug-in the plug-in hair situation a lot, doesn't it? Except it doesn't say that explicitly.
It does bond with things quickly. Like if a random white guy shows up on your planet and turns himself into one of you, then maybe that could be his friend.
If I had a nickel.
Boris, to your point earlier, the following quirk is has a terrific and eye-watering flatulence, which is very.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the grayest render in the shed. Fuck it. Fuck, throw out the syllables.
All right.
Well,
yeah, all that glitters is not gold because they do bury treasure that they find.
oh no.
Ooh. Oh, no, wait, yeah, hey.
Yeah, that's real bad.
I just got that. Unbury that right now. They really are just like very affectionate little pit bulls that
Yeah.
stand up on their back heels.
But these all are like multipliers for a D&D party and why you don't want one around.
No.
True. Like, there are some of these that are, like, very much bad, and some of them that are very much good. Like, likes to snuggle is not a bad thing, and all these other ones could cause some kind of complication.
Yeah, there's some innocent ones, like it whines in the dark sometimes, it howls when it rains. Those are all fine.
It attacks carts and wagons as if they were terrible monsters, compulsively digs up the ground, brings offerings of meat to its bonded creature.
And finally chases birds, leaping into the air to catch them, heedless of the destruction it causes.
Birds?
Birds.
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, they are spies. That's an animal fact. All birds are drones.
Yeah, the government installed pigeons throughout most major American cities.
Yeah, birds aren't real. So the Grey Render knows that because it's from space where the aliens that run the government live.
That's true. It has been to Area 51.
Yeah. It's clapped those alien cheeks.
It butted those alien selves.
I gotta work on like emphasizing my B's and or my D's and T's because like that's gonna cause a real problem.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're gonna go and take money out of the tank and get in real trouble. But yeah, so those are. It's a quirky little creature, and not little. It's a quirky, big, bulky pit bull buddy.
Oh,
So good.
who's your good boyers?
So tackling our premise here, bonding with your D&D monstrosity. What are some fun activities that we can do to kind of get good with our gray render? Maybe hopefully like start that training. You know.
Yeah. Now, Adam, I think you have the most experience here because you just welcomed a gray render into your home.
Oh,
I'm currently living with a cat.
Yes, Alex's cat has a Grace. I can say the cat's name. No one's going to steal the cat's identity. Grace has moved into your house.
Yeah, and Grace is very quirky. I will I will say that there's something that in common. I think a gray render will ask for food a lot when it's around it's feeding time, uh, and then it'll probably get a bunch of zoomies for no reason.
dude, gray render zoomies. I didn't even think of that.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
That's really bad. Now that I'm thinking about it,
They're just gonna destroy half a forest every time they're slightly energized when you get back from work.
Well, I think part of that has to do with like keeping them like inside. Like I think outdoor pets don't get zoomies that much.
huh? Okay, so and I agree that we should not keep our gray render inside.
No.
I would not want to, even if it's one of those like bars where they let you have dogs or whatever. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a smart idea.
Despite the obvious danger to wild birds, I gotta say, this is an outdoor pet.
Yeah.
Although it can't be around carriages or wagons either. So it sounds like it's going to be a rural creature.
Yeah, keep it away from highways. Keep it away from the fine china in the living room.
Maybe it's like one of those farm animals.
Yeah.
Like a draft horse. But that seems like...
But it hates horses.
Yeah.
So okay, he can't go anywhere.
Well, not every Grey Render has all of these quirks.
That's true. We're basically rolling the dice. We're literally rolling the dice to see which ones this guy has.
Yeah, if we were to come up with like a care manual for like how to take care of your Grey Render, I would say that these are possibilities, but they're not like necessarily all true for all of them. Okay, you should not take this entire quirk table and give your Grey Render in your D&D game every one of these quirks, because that is not tenable.
No, that's like not adding your modifier to an attack roll. Just doesn't.
Stop.
Just doesn't make for.
You stop that right now.
Yeah, sure.
You made it personal. Yeah. With all six, I think the Grey Render would be worse than anything the BBEG throws at the party. The ultimate frenemy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It has that problem. It's like it's too close to the party, and no one really wants to deal with it or get rid of it.
Now, I have an idea that is based on the fact that this possibly has its origins in the Neogi. That this is possibly some kind of alien crime lord creature.
Okay.
And to find out what I'm talking about, to take a look, it's in a book, a Boba Fett book.
Oh, yeah.
Book of Boba Fett features a Rancor, which, like a Grey Render, is a big, bipedal, sort of reptilian, sort of mammalian monster that's very strong and destructive, and it bonds to other creatures, like Danny Trejo.
Yeah. This official D&D artwork, I am now realizing that this is a gray colored, like brown gray. Instead of the brown Rancor, it's just gray. Like it's pretty 1-for-1 how close those are.
They're about the same size. You could ride on their back. They both love Danny Trejo. It's really.
They both hate getting like doors dropped on them.
I can't imagine most things like that. I mean, yeah, so you could use this to like enforce your crime juice.
Yeah, it's also I would call I think a lot of the scenarios I was thinking through about what would be handy with the Grey Render is those intimidation situations.
Ooh.
Yeah, having him back you up is going to be very handy.
Yeah, we were using pit bulls a lot. I think you were, Boris, and like that seems to be the comparison.
It's like that cartoon trope where like all the bullies run away from the kid. And the kid's like, I scared him off. And then behind them, there's the giant monster that actually... Yeah.
Yeah,
I could that would be a classic gray render moment, certified gray render moment.
just gray render things.
No, I'm with you. So I've any other pieces of that theory, Allie?
Yeah, I think Wizards of the Coast stole Rancors from Star Wars, and that they should be sued for money.
You hear about this Wizard of the Coast halflings?
You hear about
Get this: big feet, live in holes.
Nice try.
That's just like my uncle.
The Wizard of the Coast are ripping off my uncle.
Wizards of the Coast are ripping off my uncle.
Wizards of the Coast has been ripping off the concept of the uncle for years.
If you say
I've been trying to bring them down on this for years.
If you say Wizards of the Coast backwards 3 times, it's just uncle.
It's true.
Yeah.
Don't check, but it's true.
Gary Gygax, uncle. Don't check. It's true.
It's true.
He's probably an uncle.
Gray Render would make a good uncle, I think.
I think so, yeah. Like,
all right, real quick. Everyone lists 2 things that an uncle needs to do.
oh gosh.
Push you really high on the swings, and tell you not to cry when you get hurt.
Comment on meat being grilled.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And drink in excess.
See, the dad is there to teach you how to fight the bullies, but the uncle would be the one who goes out and fights them for you. And then other thing would probably be getting you either a really, really cool gift, like a ninja stars when you're like 10 or something, or a really, really lame gift, like a singing Billy Bass, like little interactive singing fish thing. And there is no in between. It's either amazing or a really lame gift.
That's honestly true for the specific uncle I was thinking of. Like he gave me a knife that I still have, and he also gave me a gift card for DoorDash that I had to download DoorDash to use. And also when I was little, he gave me one of those soccer football shirts that said bimbo on it. And at the time I was like, I can't wear this. But now that trans and stuff, I'm like, I can't believe I don't have that shirt now. It's all I would ever wear.
Yeah, no, that's I think a Gray Raider matches most of these. The only one I think grilling is the hardest to hit.
Well, it's just commenting on the meat as it's being grilled.
Oh, you know what? He would be a meat connoisseur.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the meat that the Gray Raider brings is just any old meat. I think it's some prime cut, something Deroni.
If they don't want it medium well, they're getting nothing at all.
Amanda Gray with a little chef hat on.
Yeah.
A little cook apron.
Where I think the Grey Render fails as an uncle, truly, is that it doesn't have too much toxic masculinity, where it's like your masculinity is tied to how undercooked your steak is. I eat steaks rare because of what gender I am. I'm so secure.
If you want it well done, get out.
Yeah.
I now that we're connecting dots here, they don't reproduce in a traditional way. I don't know if that toxic masculinity is going to be a factor on them.
That's true. They don't have.
I've budded so many baby renders.
Well, then they're not an uncle. Then they're a dad. That's a different story.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
No, but
then they're a mom also.
I think they're just the best kind of parent sibling.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would totally have my Grey Render pick me up at school when I'm sick.
Just blasting Kid Rock in the car that he's destroying.
Dude, the Grey Raider loves Kid Rock so much.
This I believe.
Yeah, I could see him with a cowboy hat at a concert in Tallahassee.
I can't see him with a hat, but I can see him with a cowboy hat. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know where the hat goes on this head that I'm looking at here.
That is a good point.
It's like if dinosaurs wore jeans, what would it look like? It's the same. If Grey Renders wore hats, would it be on the right above its eyes, or sort of between its eyes and that back hump spine thing?
I can't see him with like a beer belly though. It's like that makes sense to me.
Yeah, he works out, but he still has a beer belly. It's one of those situations.
Yeah, you can tell he was in a frat in college, but he doesn't really talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
He used to be in ROTC, and then
Just give up
didn't keep
beer.
up with.
Just give up beer if you want to get rid of the beer belly. No.
No.
What gender I am is tied to what kind of alcohol I drink.
Get me Foster's.
Australian for beer.
No, he does have to say that.
Foster's is such a fucking pull.
Is Australia canonical in the Forgotten Realms? I think so.
It might be, honestly. The Forgotten Realms, the thing that I think is so cool about it that no one pays attention to is, like, the idea is that these were forgotten realms that interacted with Earth back in, like, the ages of mythology, and that's where our mythology comes from. And so, like, it is the magic version of our world is supposed to be the idea.
Yeah, so they don't have Australia. They have Down Underland though.
They might have, like, a dreaming sort of area.
There's a whole island where there's just that buzzing sound continuously.
Yeah,
the Forgotten Realms version has that like actually happen. A quick so we could definitely take the uncle angle on this, but I wrote down a couple concepts that occur to me on occasion that I might, if a Grey Runner is good or bad for. So playing catch at the park.
That ball would be gone. You know they don't have any muscle control.
Yeah, I don't think they have the ability to like that thing where like a chimpanzee is so much stronger than us, but it can't throw with any accuracy. Because like if you ever see them throw something, it's just kind of like a toss, really.
I did not know that. That is that is very unfortunate to the MVP canon.
Yeah, chimpanzees can't play baseball.
There was a movie about that too. I think it was literally called MVP, Most Valuable Primate.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. It had the dude from Friends. Yeah.
The first one is a hockey movie. I think the second one is like skateboarding.
Oh, okay. Why are there so many movies with chimpanzees doing sports? The 90s was...
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it's like, I mean, in the 90s, that's one thing. But now it's like, that was a dude. That's a dude now. He can't do that. He needs like a paycheck.
I don't think the Grade 8 Personhood Project is that far along.
Yeah, you don't think if an ape learns how to sign, the first thing that they're asking for is money?
Based on what I know about apes, I did write my senior capstone was about the predatory behaviors of chimpanzees, and like, yeah, no, you're right. The first thing they would do is ask for an entire diker that they could disembowel, and the second thing they would do is ask for money.
To buy bananas.
Yeah.
Or more diker meat.
You sure? You sure? The first thing he would write is, you sure have a lot of expensive furniture in this house.
It would be a shame if I got poop everywhere.
So, but my next activity here, so playing catch at the park didn't work out. Going to the mall.
No.
Yay or nay on the gray render?
Well, you could only stay on the first floor, really.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a shop that might match its interests.
I don't think you could get it on an escalator.
Oh, definitely not. That's a vehicle.
You might like Lululemon. Okay. Bring it into a Hot Topic or a Spencer's.
I mean, I can see that. I can see it like going from its kind of, thin, leathery skin to just a thin, leathery outfit.
Yeah, if we're taking the uncle route, they have like AC/DC shirts at like Hot Topic and Spencer's. You just throw one of those on there.
Yeah. No, uncles at the mall, I think, work out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Here's a problem with the uncle thing.
Go ahead.
Once in each gray render's lifetime, it produced a single offspring which developed in a pocket or pouch in the adult render's body. That's not how reproduction works, gang.
It's got like a little kangaroo pouch situation.
Yeah, these things
Oh,
cannot spread if they reproduce asexually and only ever produce one offspring.
Well, I mean, that's good if your gray render gets loose. It was always going to be just one gray render on the loose.
Yeah, there's no need to spay or neuter your pet.
That's great. I think our Uncle Render will appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't even know how you would spay or neuter it. Like, would you just cover its entire body in something that kills baby gray renders?
just have it in a spandex suit constantly.
Yeah, that's what we should buy at Lululemon. One of those morph suits.
Can you buy a morph suit at Lululemon?
You can now.
All right. I guess
that's our pitch.
That's not very realistic. Now, what else would this monster have at the mall?
Do you think it would like Spencer's Gifts?
Yeah, no, it's got like lava lamps and that part at the back with all the funny little toys.
I'm picturing just like staring at a lava lamp with all those eyes.
He's seeing 6 times as much trippy lava.
To our original premise, it's either going to go really well or really badly.
Yeah. But thankfully, the stop at Auntie's Pretzels, get some Cinnabon.
Oh, hell yeah. Is Uncle Render going to buy this? Some Auntie's?
Get some Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah.
Then my third Taco Bell reference at the food court.
Oh, yeah. No,
Rule of threes, that'll be my last Taco Bell reference for the evening.
Aw, doesn't have to be necessarily.
Yeah, you just
Nosotros Quieremos Taco Bell.
One Taco Bell reference per each gray render eye.
Okay, great. So, my next scenario is entering into a high stakes poker tournament.
Oh.
I was thinking about the intimidation stuff earlier, but it's like, would that be a help here or a hurts? Do you think he's looking for an intelligent partner to kind of bond with? But his intelligence himself is 3. Do you want him around your poker game?
No. Mostly because they also don't make sunglasses for 6-eyed creatures. So his poker face would just be out there.
Just make 3 sunglasses.
Shit, you're right.
This is why they pay me the big bucks.
Uncles are naturally good at poker, I will say.
I just realized this. Yes, you're correct.
They would just... boy, howdy.
I think that your poker partners would like struggle to read his face. Glasses or no glasses, it's not a human face.
And they'd be afraid to win, I think.
Yeah, it's a real let the Wookiee win situation.
I feel like it's impossible to read him because there's nothing going on. He's not thinking about the game. He doesn't know what cards are.
Yeah, he'd have trouble with those cards in his claws. And when he grabs those cards, it would leave like a dent or an imprint, so the other poker players would see those later in the game. Yeah,
they would accuse him of counting cards.
Yeah,
Don't
bring your gray render to Vegas.
Okay. My last scenario here is working in an office.
Yeah, I think he could do it.
The handshakes. Well, you know what? In COVID,
oh yeah, no, we've entered into an era where the handshakes are no more.
Yeah, maybe elbow bumps. I think they'd be all right with elbow bumps.
Yeah, you can't feel anything with your elbows.
Yeah,
I'm seeing the gray render's existence in an office being very similar to my existence in an office, which is mostly like leaving my desk to make copies of just papers and going to get coffee, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you don't need high intelligence to work in an office.
You truly don't.
You just need an Excel sheet, and then you just copy and paste stuff from elsewhere.
No, most of what I did when I worked in an office building was I read SOPs and got mad at people for not wearing a mask, which I want to be clear, I worked in a pharmaceutical lab, and these people were literally holding, like, strep in their hands, like bacterial colonies in their hands, and it's like, can you not wear a mask even for this? Like...
I think you wouldn't like having a gray render as a coworker, because they couldn't wear a mask, because they don't have ears.
Oh shit.
No.
Well, they got the face shield things that don't work.
You could grab some pop sockets and put one on either side of his head, like, and then use those as ears. But that's
You need like the opposite of a morph suit. Like it just covers the face.
Quick, give me your phones.
It's like an executioner's hood.
Yeah,
you can't see anything.
You have to get like a Christmas stocking and put it like right over.
We don't even know if he can get COVID though.
That is a good point.
COVID may have come from space, which is also where gray renders may have come from.
I remember really seeing that rumor at some point in like 2020. Like someone was going to be like, it happened the same time that this asteroid landed. And we were like, guys, come on.
Guys, please. We're doing this, really?
Stop having fun. This is very serious.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. So,
and we all know uncles do get COVID.
Oh, hell yeah.
Uncles are particularly susceptible to COVID.
Yeah.
Because they don't believe in the vaccine.
I'm such a strong, tough enough man, because that's the gender that I am, that I can't get sick from germs.
Oh, no.
My testosterone burns away the COVID.
I've gotten sick in years.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that's
for the food poisoning I get every time I eat hot dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, I default am hungover, so I don't even notice if I have it.
I don't trust doctors, and by that I mean I think that being sick is a moral failing on my part. I think that, fellas, is it gay to be sick? I mean, you literally have something inside you.
Oh man, I'm learning unfortunate things about our Uncle Render here.
Yeah, he's not a good guy. Maybe it's better that he stayed like a 3 intelligence monstrosity.
Maybe it is. Do we have any last pieces to say about him before we head to the final rating place?
He would wear a Leonard Skinner baseball cap, I think.
He would still think that it's funny to shout Freebird whenever someone has a guitar.
Yes.
That joke has been going on for like 35 years. As
an accordionist, back when I did accordion stand-up comedy.
Of course you did.
Like once every few shows, I'd go up on stage, someone in the audience would go, Freebird! I'd be like, haha, yes sir, very funny.
There's a bird loose in this bar.
And which gray renders hate birds.
Oh no, don't shout Freebird around a gray render.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I think people will learn that lesson real quick.
But, I gotta say, I can see this guy with an accordion. We can shift from toxic uncle to cool uncle real quick.
That's true. Yeah, you know what? Nerdy Uncle Gray Render.
Yeah.
Would be awesome. He's even I don't know if you guys are looking at the same 5e picture as I am, but he's like doing an air accordion in his default picture.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that right now. Yeah.
His hands are like facing each other. So like, yeah, I see this.
Yeah, no, I trust your judgment on what's correct accordion form.
I can Photoshop in a Leonard Skinner cowboy hat and an accordion onto this guy so easily.
And put a little grill next to him.
Yeah. Okay, this is good.
I look forward to seeing that on Thursday.
That's the thumbnail for this podcast. If they do thumbnails.
Yeah, so that's wonderful. All right, let's take our Uncle Render to the final rating place. Crazy Boris, this is how we give the monster a rating out of 10 or something, based off how well we think it functions as a monster. Allie, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. So the Gray Render, it started out like a dog, and then it turned into our uncle. I gotta say, I really had a fun time with the Gray Render. We went to the mall. We didn't talk about my favorite store in the mall, which is that one weird store that every mall has that's full of, like, witchy shit.
Oh my god, you're right.
In D&D world, that might actually work, all that stuff.
The little fairy statues?
Yeah, or, like, some crystals, or even, like, once in a while, if you're at a really trashy mall, you'll get, like, a Satanist store. I think the Coventry Mall in Pottstown has one.
A Sardo figure, like, selling things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
General tchotchkes.
But no, I would say the Grey Render, much like Amethyst, is good for spiritual balance and emotional attachments. I really like that it's a defiance of the Dark Alley test. It is a monster that definitely has a thing going on with it. It bonds easily because it's essentially like a runaway domestic pet. It's a stray. It's a domesticated species. And with the Rancor thing, like, it really gives you cool ideas about how to use it in your game. As a function of the game D&D, and also maybe with like a weird hippopotamus skull that I'm now just kind of losing myself in the eyes of, staring at this. I gotta scroll down. Getting a 1,000-yard stare into all 6 of these eyes. I gotta say, like, a 10 out of 10.
Excellent. Crazy Boris, you want to give it a shot?
Yeah, so I like him. I'd say there's a lot of potential as far as using them in a campaign. There's a lot of quests you can go. Even like maybe a Grey Render attaches to your party, and you have to break up with the Grey Render.
Oh no!
Or like there's like a it's not you, it's me, Grey Render. But there's also like the idea of you have to hunt down something seemingly harmless, but the person who gave you the quest didn't mention that there's a Grey Render that's their best friend. So there's a lot of really good quest potential. I think its biggest downfall is that it's fighting one. Let me double check here.
In a 5e, it's like CR 12.
Oh yeah.
It feels like they're just another big muscly thing without too many special. It's got dark vision, but I don't think
it's just biting and clawing basically. In its attacks.
Abilities. Grey Renders have the strength of giants. Some rangers they could rip trees out of the ground. So like the best you can get out of him for the most part is they'll throw trees at the players outside of just standard stuff. Yeah, so you really have to be creative if you want an interesting fight.
Oh, I'm with you. You got a number to that?
I'd give him a 8 out of 10.
That's good.
Yeah, cool. I think I'm going to go right down the middle. I give him a 9 out of 10 because, look, I love my Uncle Render. He took me to Spencer's Gifts that one time, and we got pretzels like way too close to dinner. But he's not really great at playing catch, and I can't really take him with me at a lot of locations. He can't watch my wrestling practice.
No,
he gets very upset. So I think that I love how they're quirky, and I love how they're. When I run D&D games, I love giving players options, and introducing a double-sided coin is all coins are double-sided. A double-sided blade, all blades are double-sided. Introducing something that's both good and bad is fun. So,
a double-edged sword.
Yes. He's a double-edged sword. He's the best of buddies, but he can also like totally ruin a diplomatic or a stealth mission. And so I think it'd be a very interesting twist to a party. And so 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I kind of agree that he is one of those D&D monsters that's just like a very big, strong boy. Mm-hmm. Like he needs something else about him to make him interesting.
And they got he could be from space. They could have played off of that somehow.
Added some psionic abilities.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
You know what? The Neogi hang out with Grey Renders a lot. They also hang out with Umber Hulks a lot. One theory that I kind of thought of and then kind of threw out as not really being supported is that the Grey Render is like a genetically modified or selectively bred, like domesticated Umber Hulk. Because the Umber Hulks are basically intelligent. So like you could take something from the Umber Hulk stat block, because like they do kinds of weird psionic stuff, and just kind of warp and twist it into something else maybe. So there's an idea.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's cool. I watched a couple people playing with this monster videos describing them, and one was the render ability. How even at a high level, you could do something like it has a chance of ripping players' arms off or limbs off.
Yeah. Also, with like the Rancor influence, definitely give it the siege monster trait so that it does double damage to objects and structures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a battlefield, like in a siege situation, these guys would really shine. You put like a catapult on their back.
Oh, damn.
Oh yeah, that's great for like the hordes of orcs, you know?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Seeing a bunch of these guys side by side, like wrecking shop, would be kick-ass.
Because they're chaotic neutral. The good guys aren't the only guys making friends with these things.
That's another cool scenario I thought of. It's like you encounter this little, like, knobbly goblin, but he's befriended a Grey Render.
That's adorable. I love that.
And maybe at the end of the encounter, it buds and leaves behind a little one for your party to deal with.
And it takes like about a year of sessions until it's big enough to like do some actual damage as like a new member of the party.
But instead it gets into a little mischief, like a Pocahontas friend.
Yeah, it's the party mascot.
Yeah,
well, that's great.
From uncle to nephew. So thank you for joining us for this wonderful endeavor, audience, and thank you, Crazy Boris. It's been an absolute blast to finally have you on.
Woo! I like it.
Do you have anything to plug?
There's Crazy Boris on YouTube. That I think it's just Crazy Boris everywhere. Not the DeviantArt page. Someone else took the Crazy Boris DeviantArt page and made it like My Little Pony Countries.
That was me. I'm sorry. I just a lot of mixed interest 10 years ago.
But otherwise, YouTube, Twitter, it's all Crazy Boris.
Nice. So, I know we said we were just going to end every episode with a song parody.
Yes.
But, like, we have a guest this week, so I was feeling kind of self-conscious, and I had a song parody, but it was kind of, like, self-indulgent, so instead I just scrapped the whole thing. Instead, I have a fun fact about weather that relates to the color gray.
All right.
Adam, did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a fist from a render that's gray. Ooh, the more I get of you, the more pain I feel, yeah. Now that your pet's been my doom, I'm dead in a tomb. That's a grave. Ba-da-da, da-da, 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 da-da-da.
Now on the Batman soundtrack.
All right.
Perfect place to cut it. While Americans overwhelmingly support the right of an individual to make their own decisions about abortion, unfortunately that right is no longer protected everywhere in the U.S. The Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade on June 24, 2022. Abortion is a basic healthcare need for the millions of people who can become pregnant. Everyone should have the freedom to decide what's best for themselves and their families, including when it comes to ending a pregnancy. This decision has dire consequences for individual health and safety, and could have harsh repercussions for other landmark decisions. Restricting access to comprehensive reproductive care, including abortion, threatens the health and independence of all Americans. Even if you live in a state where abortion rights are upheld, access to safe medical procedures shouldn't be determined by location, and it shouldn't be the privilege of a small few. You can help by donating to local abortion funds. To find out where to donate for each state, visit donationsforabortion.com. That's donations, the number 4abortion.com. If you or someone you know needs help, or if you want to get more involved, here are 5 resources. 1. Shout Your Abortion is a campaign to normalize abortion. 2. Don't Ban Equality is a campaign for companies to take a stand against abortion restrictions. 3. Abortion.cafe has information about where to find clinics. 4. PlanCpills.org provides early at-home abortion pills that you can keep in your medicine cabinet. And 5. Choice.crd.co has a collection of these resources and more. You can also find links to all of these resources at podvoices.help. We encourage you to speak up, take care, and spread the word.